Well, within this 20-point plan, there are points that both Hamas and Israel have previously publicly said are red lines that could not be crossed. Yet Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that he will support this proposal that the US has put forward. If Hamas also agrees to this framework, the war would end immediately. It would then have 72 hours to return all hostages to Israel, and in turn, Israel would release nearly 2,000 prisoners. Hamas must give up all its military capabilities that then would be destroyed and must play no further role in Gaza. Aid would then flow through the Strip and that would be without interference, and that would be managed by the UN and its agencies. And then a temporary international transitional body would be set up, and that would be chaired by US President Donald Trump and with other foreign leaders on its board, including the likes of former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Now, no one would be forced to leave Gaza. In fact, it states they encourage people to stay in Gaza and rebuild it. That is chalk and cheese to what President Trump said back in February, where he floated the idea of mass immigration of about 2.1 million Palestinians to leave Gaza so that the US could then rebuild it and, in his words, make a Riviera. It also states Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. It says that the eventual governing body could be the Palestinian Authority should it undergo major reforms, and it also leaves the door open to eventual Palestinian statehood. Now, both those latter points are something that Benjamin Netanyahu has staunchly opposed and does so. He made that clear, yet he has agreed to the framework of this peace proposal. Now, should Hamas reject this, it can still go forward in part in so-called terror-free zones that the Israeli Defense Force currently controls. They would be handed over to an international temporary force that would be deployed, and that would be supported by the US and other Arab nations. Now, should Hamas reject this, which currently it's reported that it is looking into it and considering it, here is what both leaders had to say.
Israel would have my full backing to finish the job of destroying the threat of Hamas, but I hope that we're going to have a deal for peace.
But if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself.
Hamas has previously accepted ceasefires that Israel has rejected, but this is an all-or-nothing approach towards Hamas, and still a lot needs to happen to turn these words on paper into actions towards peace.